Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Talking Insights and to the second episode of our series that we recorded live during the Esomar Congress in Prague. This time, we're going to turn our focus to Africa, a continent brimming with creativity, resilience, and rapidly growing insights communities. Our guest today, Siham, will share how the African researchers are turning local challenges into global innovations and what makes the region's approach to data, storytelling, and consumer understanding so uniquely powerful. We're also exploring what's ahead, because next year in February, Esomar will host the first African event in Nairobi. It's a milestone gathering that will spotlight the voices and visions shaping the future of insights across the whole continent. Siham is part of the program committee for this event, and we talk a bit about all the papers that we received and all the topics that are going to be discussed in the event. Join us, learn more about what makes this continent so special, and also get a glimpse on what's next on this region. Now, without further ado, here's Siham. Siham, welcome. Thank you so much for being here at the Talking Insights podcast. We're here on the day one of the Esomar Congress. It's very busy. Everyone's having lunch, connections. The whole networking thing is very busy. How is the whole Congress for you so far?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here with you. It's actually a beautiful Congress. This is my second time in Esomar Congress. I've done the last one last year. So it's just a beautiful place to be in for a market researcher. It's just, mind-blowing, We get everything we want here in this Congress.
Is it, and we will talk about it because Esomar will have an event in Africa. We will talk about it. But firstly, I want to know more about the whole market research environment and the whole industry, especially in Africa. How it is, how's the big differences there? And what can you give us a bit of
Yeah. Well, basically, we need to know that Africa is a continent, different countries, different cultures, and even within the same country, there are several different cultures. It's a continent that is very much, hooked to culture, and it's very diversified. There are plenty of languages that are spoken in Africa. There are plenty of religions, plenty of ethnics. So we cannot talk about one Africa. There is so many things, it's so diversified that we cannot summarize it in one way of doing things. So market research in Morocco, for example, where I come from, is not the same as doing it in Central Africa or doing it in South Africa, doing it in, Nigeria, Kenya, or in the smaller countries. So we cannot talk about one way of doing market research. If we want to do market research in Africa, we need to make sure we have the right partners. We have the right local partners who understand the culture, who understand the local way of doing market research and business in general. Yeah. So we cannot talk about one Africa. We can talk about so many Africas within Africa.
It's interesting. I feel like nowadays people have this thing with the language. Because you can go to a place and honestly, nowadays you can just use a translator in your phone and you can kind of navigate the situation. You can be in a different place with a different language that you don't understand and find your way around it. But when you're doing businesses, it's not only the languages that you kind of have to understand, as you were saying, the culture, the whole thing, how the people connect, because the way that some people say hello with their body is not the same way that you say in the other countries.
Exactly.
So I can imagine that there's a big difference.
Exactly. Right? And even the language is still a challenge in Africa because, when we are in Europe, for example, or even in Latin America, we have Latin language, usually it's English, French, Spanish, When you're in Africa, you have local languages, like where I come from, Morocco. We have the dialect Arabic, which is not the classic Arabic. So if you are Egyptian and you come to Morocco and you talk Egyptian, it's not the same. When I speak my dialect, an Egyptian doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Within my country, my mom is from the north. She speaks a different dialect than my dad, who's from the south, for example. And there is other languages, which is what we call Berber. I'm just talking about Morocco. It's the same thing happening in all countries in Africa. So the language is still a big barrier because we still do research in local languages, and unfortunately, technology doesn't take it in consideration all the time. So now it's getting better. Like for the Moroccan dialect, we can find it on ChatGPT now when AI is using it. But like for local languages within small countries of Africa, they cannot translate it. So you still need to have that language basic knowledge before you can do market research in these countries.
And do you see those, and I'm going to call it constraints, but in certain ways it is, do you see those constraints kind of transforming into an innovation? Do you see new brands, new companies emerging from those problems?
Basically, we have challenges. Definitely, we have challenges that we try to make, strengths out of our challenges. So, for example, in our case, when the Moroccan dialect was not available, we had to work with our own models. So we had to train our own models while you're looking for French, English, Spanish, they were already there. We had to retrain our own models, but that helped us even when ChatGPT later on, for example, had put the Moroccan dialects in, the available. We were able to improve our models. We were able to now combine both our models and what ChatGPT is. It's also enabling us to leapfrog. For example, we all know that Africa went from, was the first one to use mobile money, for example, because we had issues with banking systems in Kenya, for example. So these challenges are helping us, countries of Africa, leapfrog certain things. And now we're moving directly to AI. We are going from face-to-face now to building synthetic panels as well, without going through the online panels, because online panels are not that available in Africa. There are in some big countries, but not in all Africa. So we're trying to combine face-to-face, CATI. We're trying to combine it with synthetic. We're trying to build our synthetic data as well, panels. So we're trying to leapfrog.
It's great. And I can imagine that, again, like a bunch of companies are helping not only the ones in Africa, but they're bringing that knowledge and the expertise that they're building in Africa, but to the outside, like some innovation to the other countries. And that kind of leads me to the event, because Esomar is going to be in Nairobi in February, right? And the idea of the event, we've been talking about it for quite a few months, if not years, about doing an event there. And there's always so much eager to have something there. Can you unveil a bit more about the event? What can we expect about it?
I think we can expect the best of Africa in this event. We've been working with Esomar since last year. With the idea started actually last year. We now already selected the papers that will be presented. And as a part of the program committee, I can tell you we have some beautiful papers that are coming. We have people coming from all over the world. People are interested in, assisting to this conference, because it's gonna be rich in knowledge. It's gonna be rich in culture, the African culture. So I'm looking forward to it.
You mentioned that you're part of the program committee, right? You already went through, if not all, but almost all of them.
We've selected already the content.
Was it difficult to go through the whole papers and select which ones are, in the program and which ones are not?
Actually, it was a pity, because I think we've received about almost 60 or so, almost 70 papers, and then we had to select only 16. So it was very, very hard. The level was very high, and we had sometimes, to debate about a few ones. But I'm pretty sure, the quality of the papers that we're going to be presenting in the conference will be very, very high. So yes, just be there.
I have one last question. I was talking with some of the judges for the awards, and I was asking them, like, what did you learn from the whole process of going through all these papers? And I want to ask you that as well. Like, what did you learn, or what did you feel that you benefited through going through all those papers, all those ideas that people just submitted?
Basically, you learn a lot, because it's new ideas, new ways of thinking, new ways of dealing with challenges. We've seen some papers that are talking about how to deal with challenges we're facing in the African market. And I think not only us, the people who will be there, who will attend these presentations, will learn a lot.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I hope to see everyone that's listening in Africa, in Nairobi in February. And I hope to see you there. I'm sure you'll be there, and I'm sure I'll be there. So thank you so much for your time. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
And have a rest of a great Congress.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
It was great.
That's done.
Thanks.
And that's all for today, folks. Talking Insights is a production of Research World and Esomar, bringing you the stories, voices, and ideas shaping the insights community around the world. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, share your story, or learn more about sponsoring opportunities, send us an email at podcast@esomar.org. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And join us next week for another great conversation. See you.